Hi, my name is Pam Johnson, and I have a couple questions for you. Do you remember your very first day of school? Not high school, not college, but your very first day. Go back to preschool, as a 3-year-old even. Imagine that you're in a room with 16 others. There are two teachers there, and one of them asks you, "What would you like to do today?" You look around that room and you see everything that you can ever imagine for a preschooler to play with, to touch and feel. There are finger paints, there's a brand new easel, there are puzzles, blocks, all of it. Decisions, decisions, decisions. What in your 3-year-old mind are you going to do? Well, before she can even call the last child's name, the room is sheer madness. There are toys and paint and paper and glue everywhere. What to do? Well, that story wasn't about a 3-year-old child. It was about me. My very first day in a Head Start classroom as a teacher's assistant many years ago. What did I do? I turned out the lights to get the kids' attention and I asked them, "Let's look around this room. What does your mother do when your room looks like this?" Many of the children said we have to clean it up. So that's what we did. We sang the cleanup song, clean up, everybody do your share. I just remember that part of the song. Well, we cleaned up the room. We sat down and had a little talk with the kids. And we talked about how we were going to take care of each other and how we were going to take care of our things. But it was on that day that I knew that I was not a teacher. And my hat's off to every educator, uh, students young and old. But I really liked Head Start and what it stood for. How did I get there? My son, who is now 28 years old, was 4 years old at the time. We were in our local health department. He was getting immunizations. Well, the nurse who was examining him asked me if I'd even had heard of Head Start and would I be interested in filling out paperwork for my son to go. So I followed up. That's the kind of person I am, very resourceful, and I like to do research. So I was curious, filled out the application, and Brian was off to school. But it wasn't just about him, it was a family affair. So if you've never heard of Head Start, let me tell you just a bit about it. Head Start was created in 1965 as a program to help low-income children get ready for school. This summer program was getting the children ready for first grade because back then in the 60s, not every family could afford to send their child to a private kindergarten or a preschool. But the Department of Health and Human Services decided they would try to level the playing field. So along came Head Start. Out of that program grew in 1981 other components. Components that would go beyond that early childhood education. Components that would involve the things like health and nutrition that were there at the onset, but also parent involvement. Parent involvement was stressed very importantly at Head Start, and that's where I come in. When my son was in Head Start, I volunteered as much as I could, which led me to a position as a instructional assistant. Like I said, I knew I wasn't a teacher, but I really liked Head Start and what the principles were. Out of that came an opportunity. I call it a ram in the bush. A way for me to be involved in a program that I had a passion for and to use my own gifts and talents of research and resourcefulness. So I decided that I would apply for a position as a family services case manager. What does a case manager do? Well, my first job was to do just what that nurse did for me. I sought out other families, enrolled them in the program if they were eligible, helped them develop a family services plan that will move their family forward, not just their child, as they entered the local public school system. How will a parent and a child get into public school and stay involved and keep track of their child academically so that they could matriculate all the way from Head Start to college graduation? just as my son did. You see, my passion for Head Start led me from the classroom to human services. And to this day, I am in federal service with the government in Washington, D.C. No, not with Health and Human Services, with another agency, but still helping people. And I thank Head Start for that, and I'll always be an advocate. Thank you.